Last night we had over 500 hits on the telethon. What? You know what that means for you people? We're going to have a full 100 patients today. Did y'all get enough sleep? Y'all get enough to eat? Y'all happy campers? All right, I'd like to hear that. All right, folks, you've been doing a stellar job. Every brass that's rolled in here leaves out with a grin. They look like they've got some kind of tetanus or something. It's fixed on that face. We're gonna have to work that thing off for the next couple of weeks. I want to keep it that way. All right. Last night, your happy commander fell asleep at the table, writing up all these commendations that you people are making me do. So you guys do too good of a job. That's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing. I'm very proud of you. I know headquarters is. Let's go get them today. Let's finish this up tomorrow with a bang, and then we'll jump to Laredo. Right. Very good.
Operation Lone Star is a humanitarian assistance and military training opportunity. Each summer, for 2 weeks, the military forces bring its doctors and its health professionals down to South Texas, and we assist the Department of State Health Services, the local medical authorities, and all the volunteers and communities provide clinic assistance in the way of exams and other support so that the community members can have a little bit of care which otherwise they may never see.
This is the 9th year that Operation Lone Star has been in existence along the U.S.-Mexico border. The original reason for this was to promote an immunization program along the border where our lowest rates of immunization in the state of Texas happen to be along the border. So this actually started to encourage people to come and get their immunization for their children before school started. But over time, it's manifested itself into something much more important and much more integral into the community's need of medical and public health services.
What we do is we come down here every year and we try to provide all kinds of health care to people in the valley who don't necessarily have the opportunity to have health care throughout the year. In fact, some people, this is the only health care they receive every year is when we come here, and we're here for typically 2 weeks, and we kind of different schools where we set up as clinics, and then we also move around a little bit. The second week we may go to different schools even, so that we have a wide reach to the people in this area who need medical care.
We provide them with dental care, immunizations, physicals, hearing screening, vision screening, cholesterol screening, diabetes screening, able to provide a great number of services that hopefully help them have a better quality of life.
The exciting part for us is that we're able to provide the real-world medical care. We have some of the best docs and other medical personnel in the state that are part of the medical brigade that are here. You couldn't ask for better medical care. But oftentimes, we'll see the same people year after year, and in some cases, what they get from us during the 2 weeks that we're in the area may be the only medical care that they get for the rest of the year.
The first day of this operation, we had over 551 in this clinic, which is one of the highest numbers that's ever been recorded. I believe that the numbers so far are probably going to be on track to break last year's record. So people are voting with their feet, coming to see us because they sense the value that we provide to the community.
People go to the emergency room for minor things, but they can't get medical care otherwise, and that's the only place they have to go is the emergency room. Here, we can take care of minor medical procedures that need to be done. So we're taking we hope that we're taking a great load of that responsibility off the community.
Our community has benefited tremendously. I have seen the families that we operate on a daily basis here in the schools coming in and receiving these services, which more than likely would not be receiving these services if there was no Lone Star operations, because we have an economically deprived area, in this location where we're at, and that's why it is utmost for us to be able to actively participate in this kind of operations and bring what the services that are needs of our community, and bring these services and tie them and match them to our students, because the bottom line, the ones that are going to benefit from us are our school district students.
Even in a very affluent country such as ours, there are people, unfortunately, who do find themselves in hard times, destitution, indigency, things of that nature. It's not a desired way of life, but it's the one that they find themselves in. And to know, even at I don't want to be too negative, but even at the lowest point in their life at this time, that they can still reach out to the community, and the community will be there to answer that call if they or their family members need assistance, social assistance, medical assistance, care. People need to know that it doesn't matter what's happening in your life, somebody cares, and we'll be there to help.
We do well by doing good. All of us, we do well by doing good. And by that I mean the good that we do is for the people that we see here coming, all the folks that need a little bit of extra care, a little bit of help, a little bit of health attention. We do good by helping them. But we do well in the process by working together. Community volunteers, state agency people, individuals from all walks of life, including the media, getting the word out and making good things possible. When this knits together, we do well by doing good.
Basically, we have had an average of about 400 persons per day here, which makes it about 2,000 per week. You know, and to work 2,000 persons in this kind of multiple services that we're rendering here, it requires a lot of individuals with expertise, as well as individuals that are volunteers that we need for to be able to control, to be able to process, to be able to just intake and perform the duties that we need to for all 2,000 people that normally come to this kind of program.
On the first day that Operation Lone Star started, we had 95 people that were turned away from seeing the dentist because we only had one dentist and he didn't even have a dental technician to assist them. So yes, we need all types of medical support, nurses, medical apprentices, medical techs, EMTs, physicians, physician's assistants. Anybody involved in the medical field is gladly encouraged to call either the local health departments or Department of State Health Services to volunteer their services if they are interested.
I have a dentist, for example. He's working like a madman. He saw 23 patients the first day. We turned away a bunch because we'd only had one dentist. 23 patients. Now, it would have been very easy for this dentist, Dr. Metcalf, to say, you know, I'm going to stay in my hometown and I'm going to see 23 patients and get paid a whole lot of money to do it. But he didn't do that.
Most people can go to the emergency room. If they don't have a physician, they can still go to the emergency room and get treatment. But that's not the case with dental services. There's not anybody that has to take a dental patient. And so unfortunately, a lot of times dental services go unmet, and there's a big need for that. We need more volunteers to come down and help.
Unfortunately, we have to turn folks away. So he works from 8 in the morning till 6 o'clock at night straight. You know, he'll take a lunch break, but that's about it. And we still have to turn people away. So we could really use some local dentists around to come in and help us.
Yeah, I think the first day when we got set up, we saw maybe 20, 25 patients. Yesterday, around 30 or so. But the unfortunate part for us is that we had to turn away. So I think we turned away about 100 people or so. And you know, that's really unfortunate because that's what we came here to do, and we have to turn people away. And that's the hard part.
We need more doctors and more dentists especially to come in and supplement what we do. We have some local student nurses that are here to help us. But we could use all the help we can get.
We have a lot of pressures in life. I mean, we've got professional requirements, just the day job issues, family responsibilities. All those things are very important, and we need to address those issues. But for me, medicine was about taking care of people And this is one aspect of medicine that oftentimes, although I do take care of my trauma patients, it's a different environment. It's a whole different setup. Here I can actually sit back and see the whole humanistic component of medical care on a very basic level. And even that basic level means a boatload to these people. It means it's an immense improvement in their lives for this period of time. So that's a significant impact, and it makes you value all that hard work that you did, all those nights that other folks were having a good time and you were sitting there hitting the books. You come over here, when you finish the day, you're dead dog tired, but boy, you can look in the mirror and say, man, I had a good day today.
You recognize a need. Even before help is requested, you see that help is required. And that's what the very meaning of a volunteer is. We don't need to be asked. We see that there's a need and we try to fill that need before something harmful befalls that person. We try to be on hand and to make ourselves available to answer the call. A person who has it in their heart to offer themselves, offer their knowledge, offer their assistance, render aid when it's needed. That's the beauty of a volunteer. And you gotta have a good heart to be a volunteer.
I really believe that in the beginning, we got into this not for the money, not for the prestige, but we got into it because we had a real desire to want to help somebody else, to better their life, to be there for them when they needed us. I think sometimes in our daily life with our clinics and our law firms and our hospitals, we lose sight of that. It becomes more of a business. And it has to sometimes, and I'm not trying to say that that's bad, but you do lose some of that, what you got into the business for. And this gives you the opportunity to take a weekend a month or take your 2 weeks out of the year and get back to the roots of what you decided you wanted to do in the first place, and that is help people. If you're only interested in money, that may not be the thing for you, but if you want to help people and you love to look in a child's eyes or you love to look in somebody's eyes when you help them and they say thank you, if that's what you got into the business for, then come see us.
For me as a volunteer, I always had, and for many years, and I know it may sound crazy, but for many years I've always had this little voice inside my heart saying, aren't you supposed to be doing something? Isn't there something you can do? And to answer that call every day, because there's always that, every day I wake up, aren't you supposed to be doing something? Isn't there something you can be doing today? And I can go to bed at night satisfied that yes, I did something today to help someone else. And it makes me feel really good, as a professional and as a person.
We look forward to this. As the Texas State Guard member, we're only really obligated to be here for 3 days. But nobody, hardly, unless they have a job that they just can't get away from, is only here for the 3 days. Typically, people will be here for either one of the 2 weeks or both weeks, depending on how much they can get away from work. We look forward to this. We plan for it. And it's not for monetary gain, and it's not because we're going to receive anything other than these people saying thank you.
It's very rewarding to see people that, you know, who are so grateful to have, to have an immunization or to have, you know, their a dental screening, you know, and they're not, you know, it's not necessarily something to you and I that would be a great deal. You know, we just make an appointment, go to the dentist, but these people don't have that opportunity. And so to be able to provide that for me, they are just so incredible. You can see in their faces, they're so excited to just be here. Even though they stood in line for 8 hours, they're just so excited to be receiving any kind of dental care or medical care that they can. And it's just, you know, to be able to be a part of that and, you know, bring joy to somebody like that is, you know, it's indescribable. They're just so grateful. Depending on the location, if you come back to the same place, oftentimes you'll see the same people in line. They'll recognize you. It's a funny thing, you know, you'll be walking down the aisle, I'm looking for problems to solve, and next thing you know, you get somebody giving you a bear hug because they remember you from last year. So that's very, very rewarding. And some of the kids that you take care of, you see them growing up right before your eyes.
I mean, you look into the faces not only of the parents, but you look at these beautiful children and what we're providing for them. And I was in there yesterday and saw a little girl that was getting up to date on her injections, you know, on her vaccinations and stuff. A little difficult for her, but we knew we were a beautiful child, and we knew we were providing something that she needed and might get otherwise, but might not. We know she's got it now and is protected, so that's very gratifying.
When we got here Monday morning, just to give you an example, we got here Monday morning, there were already people lined up to be seen. We closed the doors at about 4 o'clock in the evening so that we don't see any new people, but we finish seeing the people that were already in here. When we leave here, typically about 5:30 or 6 in the evening, when we left Monday evening at 6 p.m., there were already people in line for the next day, like a rock concert. So the people are very glad to see us. We've had people go home after seeing us and bring us back tamales. I had one woman last year who didn't have any money, but she brought me back some little candy, you know, that she had bought. When you look into their eyes and you see the gratefulness, we're providing dental care, we're providing physicals, medical care, injections, health education. We do things for people here that they don't get done anyplace else.
When the military folks leave here, I know that in their heart, when they get back home, I know it, and I see it in their smiles. Even though by the end of the day, they're dog tired, their feet hurt, they may be just like exasperated with a day's work, but I know when they sit down a few days later and they remember that little baby girl who came in and had the beautiful eyes and was there and real caring and needed their help, and she looks up at them with her little tears and says, thank you, gracias. You know it's gotta hit them here. You know that caregiver, that healer, that citizen volunteer, it touches them, and you know that gives them the strength and the energy to continue doing this job, to continue doing their volunteer effort. Because you know, those little thank yous, those little, you know, hugs, those little smiles, that's the integral energy, the life force that gives these citizen volunteers the energy, the strength, and the whereabouts to come back and do it again. How do you put a value on that? You can't put a value on that. The value is internal, it's intrinsic to our life and our belief as human beings, as community members, and as volunteers. That's our payment. When you see that smile, when you have that thank you, when you get that hug, that's how do you put a value on that? It's priceless.